Hello, this is FASTECH. Prior to the detailed product description, let me briefly introduce the FASTECH EtherCAT product line. Here is a brand called EZ-Servo. EZ-Servo is a closed-loop stepping system product line. And there is a brand called EZ-Step. EZ-Step is an open-loop micro-stepping system product line. Lastly, the brand EZ-IO is an I/O module product line, including digital I/O module, analog I/O module, and counter module. So, FASTECH EtherCAT product line has the EZ-Servo brand of the closed-loop stepping system, the EZ-Step brand of the open-loop micro-stepping system, and the EZ-IO brand of the I/O module. Let's take a look at each product brand one by one. First, EZ-Servo brand. EZ-Servo brand has 5 products, including EZ-Servo 2 EtherCAT, a standard type of closed-loop stepping system, EZ-Servo 2 EtherCAT Mini, a mini drive type, the 4-axis drive type EZ-Servo 2 EtherCAT 4X, and the 8-axis drive type EZ-Servo 2 EtherCAT 8X. And EZ-Servo 2 EtherCAT All, an all-in-one type that combines a motor, a high-resolution encoder, a drive and EtherCAT network. Next, EZ-Step brand. EZ-Step brand has 3 products, including EZ-Step 2 EtherCAT, a standard type of open-loop micro-stepping system, EZ-Step 2 EtherCAT Mini, a mini drive type, and EZ-Step 2 EtherCAT 4X, a 4-axis drive type. Finally, EZ-IO brand. EZ-IO brand has 3 products including digital I/O module, analog I/O module, and counter module. So, FASTECH has a total of 11 EtherCAT products. Since there are various types of products, FASTECH can provide EtherCAT total solutions. Among 11 types of products, I'd like to introduce the 4-axis and 8-axis drive type of closed-loop stepping system, EZ-Servo 2 EtherCAT 4X and 8X. First of all, I will explain the combination model name of EZ-Servo 2 EtherCAT 4X. In the example model name, EC means the product using the EtherCAT network, 4X means 4-axis product. Customers can select 3-axis or 4-axis and the size of both drives are the same. You can select the motor from a NEMA 8, 20mm size motor to a NEMA 24, 60mm size motor. Motor length is the length of the motor body excluding the motor shaft, and you can select small, medium, large, and extra large length. The length you can select depends on the motor size. The encoder resolution can also be selected as shown in the table. Gearbox and brake specifications are also available. A gearbox and a brake can be applied from a NEMA 17, 42mm size motor, to a NEMA 24, 60mm size motor. Gearboxes are planetary gearboxes. The brake is a non-excitation type that activates when the power goes off. For example, you can use it to prevent the Z-axis load from falling. Please refer to the catalog for details. Now let's check the features of EZ-Servo 2 EtherCAT 4X products. EZ-Servo 2 EtherCAT 4X is an EtherCAT-based 4-axis closed-loop stepping system product. There are 4 drives in one EZ-Servo 2 EtherCAT 4X case. Thus, you can save space and the wiring would be simpler. For example, when compared to installing 4 EZ-Servo 2 EtherCAT, which is FASTECH's standard product, installing EZ-Servo 2 EtherCAT 4X only needs half space for installation. If you see 4 standard products stacked on the left, the width is 166 mm and the height is 134 mm. This number is for simple comparison, and when you install the drives in actual machine, you might need more space because of cable wiring and space between products. On the other hand, in the case of the 4-axis drive on the right, the width is 100 mm and the height is 100.4 mm. Compared to installing 4 standard products, the installation space is reduced by half. Also, in the case of 4 standard type drives, they require 1 EtherCAT cable for the connection to the EtherCAT master, and 3 EtherCAT cables for the daisy chain connection between the drives, so total 4 EtherCAT cables are required, but you only need 1 EtherCAT cable if you use EZ-Servo 2 EtherCAT 4X. And the power cables are also reduced from 4 cables to a control power cable and a motor power cable, which means less and simpler wiring and cost reduction. Space saving and less wiring can reduce cost. Actual examples will be explained later. It supports CIA402 drive profile, a standard profile for drive motion control. It supports CSP mode that controls the position of the slave, by receiving the target position from the master every cycle. And profile position mode, which is a general point-to-point movement command, and homing mode, which is an origin search command. Also, the minimum cycle time is 0.25 milliseconds. The cycle time is the time required for communication between the master and the slave. And the minimum cycle time is the time it takes for the slave to receive, process, and respond to a packet. In general, the minimum cycle time of stepping motor drives on the market is 0.5 milliseconds, but FASTECH's product has a shorter minimum cycle time of 0.25 milliseconds. Then, why is the minimum cycle time important? For example, in synchronous control, if the cycle time is short, smooth and high precision control is possible. But if the cycle time is long, smooth operation is not possible. Depending on the requirements of the machine, stepping motors and servo motors are often used together. In this case, the cycle time should be used in accordance with the longer one. For example, even if the minimum cycle time of the master and the servo drive is 0.25 milliseconds. If the cycle time of the step drive is 0.5 milliseconds, the minimum cycle time should be 0.5 milliseconds. Therefore, many companies are trying to reduce the minimum cycle time for high-precision motion control. Next, EZ-Servo 2 EtherCAT 4X is compatible with various EtherCAT master controllers. These are FASTECH's EtherCAT products listed on the EtherCAT Technology Group, the world's largest EtherCAT organization. If you access the official site of ETG with this address and search FASTECH, you can see that FASTECH's 4 types of EtherCAT slave products are on the list. The rest of the EtherCAT products will be updated in the future. ETG, the Worldwide EtherCAT Association, was founded in Germany by Beckhoff, the creator of EtherCAT. FASTECH has received compatibility verification at ETC, the EtherCAT Test Center, which is an affiliate of ETG, and verifies the compatibility of EtherCAT products. Currently, only EZ-Servo 2 EtherCAT, the standard type product, has received official compatibility certification, but the functions based on this compatibility certification have been applied to EZ-Servo 2 EtherCAT 4X products. As you checked before, although FASTECH EtherCAT product has completed the compatibility verification and received the official certification, it doesn't prove the compatibility with each manufacturer's EtherCAT master. Thus, in cooperation with FASTECH and the major EtherCAT master companies, compatibility verification between master and slave based on CIA402 a standard profile for EtherCAT drive motion control, has been completed, which is a distinctive feature of FASTECH EtherCAT products. By the compatibility test with each master company, the connection method and the operation of the EtherCAT function with various masters were verified. The verification results I mentioned before are summarized in a table. These are conformance test reports and connection manuals for each master. The demonstration of FASTECH EtherCAT products was delivered to each master company, and the master company directly conducted the conformance test. In the case of the conformance test report, it was written after verifying the normal operation of SERVOII EtherCAT based on CIA 402 with each master. The connection manual contains the ESI file registration method, and master and slave connection method. First, here's the example of the actual conformance test report. This is a report written after testing the FASTECH EtherCAT slave by a master company called Trio Motion Technology in the UK. Each evaluation item applied to the test was taken directly from the CIA 402 drive profile, which is a standard profile for drive motion control. For example, if you look at this part, you can check the test items for drive status control, operation enable, operation disable, and error codes of CIA 402 drive profile. Tests were conducted for each evaluation item, and this is the result. Therefore, if this conformance test report is delivered to customers using the Trio Master, they can use FASTECH EtherCAT products without worrying about compatibility. If you need these compatibility test reports, please contact FASTECH Customer Center with this phone number, or sales@fastech-motions.com, and we will send you the report. Next, let's look at the connection manual example. This is the connection manual for MC4N, the EtherCAT master of Trio and FASTECH EtherCAT slave. The connection manual contains the ESI file registration method, and master and slave connection method. If you set the connection according to this manual, you can connect the master and slave easily and without problems, and without reading the connection manual of the master. And, EtherCAT connection manual with each master can be downloaded from FASTECH website. If you access the following address and place the mouse pointer on the Downloads tab of the homepage, an item called Quick Download appears. Click on the item to display a list of products. Click the Network Manual button of the SERVOII EtherCAT 4X product among the products in the list to download the connection manual for each master. The manual of Trio's MC4N master, which I said as an example earlier, can also be downloaded here. You can also download the same manual by clicking the Network Manual button of other EtherCAT products. Also, a high-resolution encoder is attached to enable precise position control. It depends on the motor size, but up to 20,000 ppr resolution encoders can be used. Due to the characteristic of the stepping motor, it does not require a separate gain tuning, which can reduce maintenance effort. For example, you can just power on the motor and operate it without gain tuning. Since the holding torque is large, there is no vibration after stopping compared to the servo. In general, when controlling a stepping motor, motor heat is a problem because the maximum current flows regardless of the load. But since Servo controls the current according to the load like a servo, it can relatively suppress heat generation compared to the conventional stepping motors. We have looked at the features of SERVOII EtherCAT 4X until now. Now, with the video, I will show you a demonstration of SERVOII EtherCAT 4X product. This is a demonstration controlling a 3-axis cantilever robot from Aegis in Germany, by using EtherCAT Master from Omron in Japan, and Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 4X from FASTECH. The maximum number of axes supported by Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 4X is 4. But in this demonstration, the 3-axis type, 3X was applied. The product names used in this demonstration are as follows. As you can see, if you use 3-axis drive, it needs less space, and wiring is also simpler, because it needs less power cables and network cables, compared to 3 single-axis drives. For 3 single-axis drives, 3 EtherCAT cables are required, but if you use the 3-axis drive, only 1 EtherCAT cable is needed, and power cables are also reduced from 3 cables to a control power cable and a motor power cable, which means less and simpler wiring. Also, since cantilever robots generally use 4 motors, it is more efficient to use Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 4X. The next demonstration consists of RoboLink, a 5-axis articulated robot from Aegis in Germany, EtherCAT Master from Omron in Japan, and Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 3X from FASTECH. It controls the gripper with force control, using the 1-axis gripper of GMT from Taiwan as an end effector in 5-axis RoboLink. The product names used in this demonstration are as follows. The demonstration consists of 1 Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 3X, the 3-axis drive, 2 Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT, the single-axis drive, and 1 Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT All. The all-in-one type product including a motor, a high-resolution encoder, a drive and EtherCAT network. You can see that the motion of grabbing and moving 3 objects of different sizes is operated with force control. In the video, only 3 axes were controlled with 1 multi-axis drive, but up to 8 axes can be controlled. Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 8X, an 8-axis drive, will be introduced in the next chapter. When making an articulated robot like this, using a multi-axis drive can save space and reduce wiring. Until now, I have introduced Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 4X. From now on, following the 4-axis drive, I will introduce Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 8X, an 8-axis drive. First of all, I will explain the combination model name of Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 8X. In the example model name, EC means the product using the EtherCAT network, 8X means 8-axis product. Customer can select 6-axis or 8-axis and the size of both drives are the same. You can select the motor from a NEMA 8, 20mm size motor to a NEMA 24, 60mm size motor. The length you can select depends on the motor size. The encoder resolution can also be selected as shown in the table. Absolute encoder type is also available. Gearbox and brake specifications are also available. A gearbox and a brake can be applied from a NEMA 17, 42mm size motor, to a NEMA 24, 60mm size motor. Gearboxes are planetary gearboxes. The brake is a non-excitation type that activates when the power goes off. For example, you can use it to prevent the Z-axis load from falling. Please refer to the catalog for details. Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 8X is EtherCAT-based 8-axis closed-loop stepping system product. There are 8 drives in one Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 8X case. Thus, you can save space and the wiring would be simpler. Space saving and less wiring can reduce cost. I will tell you about in the next chapter. Rest of the features are the same as the features of Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 4X, except for one thing. The one distinguishing feature is that Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 8X supports the batteryless absolute encoder type motors. The batteryless absolute encoder can be applied from 42 mm to 60 mm size motors. As mentioned earlier, Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 8X has 8 drives in one case, which reduces space and simplifies the wiring. Space saving and less wiring can reduce cost. Moreover, even though it is the 8-axis drive, it has same size as the 4-axis drive, Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 4X, so it is possible to drastically reduce the product installation space with Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 8X. Let me show you about the reduced installation space with the actual number. For example, if you compare Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 8X with Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT, FASTECH standard product, you can see that the space for the drives is reduced to 1/5. If you see 8 standard products stacked on the left, the width is 352 mm and the height is 134 mm. This number is for simple comparison, and when you install the drives in actual machine, you might need more space because of cable wiring and space between products. On the other hand, in the case of the 8-axis drive on the right, the width is 100 mm and the height is 100.4 mm. Compared to installing 8 standard products, the installation space is reduced to 1/5. Also, in the case of 8 standard type drives, they require one EtherCAT cable for the connection to the EtherCAT master, and 7 EtherCAT cables for the daisy chain connection between the drives, so total 8 EtherCAT cables are required, but you only need one EtherCAT cable if you use Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 8X. And the power cables are also reduced from 8 cables to a control power cable and a motor power cable, which means less and simpler wiring and cost reduction. For example, if you apply the 8-axis drive to a cantilever robot or an articulated robot, you can greatly reduce space, wiring, and cost. I have introduced Easy Servo 2 EtherCAT 8X until now.